Good evening, folks. I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leith here.
And I'm student meteorologist Sloan Haynes.
And we're following up yesterday's tornadic outbreak event that caused many deaths, and we're trying to take a serious tone here and discuss what's going to happen later on in the show.
Over the past 24 hours, a lot of emergency crews have been going out trying to find survivors and help people try to find their valuable items, as a lot of homes are destroyed. Schools were in the way of this as well.
Yes, and National Weather Service employees are currently conducting their surveys on what kind of category these tornadoes will be. They had in their discussion this morning to discuss that they were making an effort to go out and try to find the best data for this information, and we'll talk more about the specific tornadoes that affected areas around Tallahassee.
But the National Weather Service did do a great job, and we'd like to thank them for their efforts yesterday, as they were on top of every warning, every watch that was issued, and made sure to keep a follow-up up until they were all over.
Yeah, and we'd also like to thank all the FSU weather people down here last night that helped out and did a live coverage of it as it was happening and all over social media, just giving good information for people to find out.
But for now, we're going to pass things off to Ariana at the wall to look at the overview.
Thank you so much, guys. Tallahassee did luck out last night where we did not get a tornado touchdown, even though we were under a warning. But that cold front brought those cooler temperatures in today. So right now you're looking at 65 in Tallahassee with a low of 49, which is actually lower than that average for this time of year. So we got some very cool northern winds coming our way. You can see here these winds are coming from the north, so that's bringing those cold temperatures that you felt this morning when you woke up. And if you look here, this is the forecast for 1 a.m. tonight, so you could expect a few showers tonight moving through very quickly, so I would not recommend taking that 1 a.m. walk tonight without an umbrella. But for the 3-day forecast, you can look at those temperatures are slowly going to rise, and that sun is going to stay out, but those low temperatures will still be low, so I suggest layers on layers. If you look at the storm reports from yesterday, you can see this big tornado that hit around Columbus, Georgia. It was a big day yesterday. There was a lot of destruction. Please sending out prayers. I hope everyone is okay. But we're going to be talking a lot about this in the show up ahead. You can see all these watches and warnings that are happening now around the United States. These have transitioned from thunderstorm warnings to severe storm warnings to freeze warnings and winter weather watches up in the north. So there was a big transition. What you can expect in the show, you can see those severe weather outbreak recaps, those colder temperatures coming your way, and those rain chances returning tonight. Now, Michael and Dylan are going to tell us a little more about that at the desk.
Yeah, thanks, Ariana. So, of course, the main story for today was the severe weather outbreak we experienced basically yesterday afternoon, last night.
Yeah, for our area, it was later in the evening. For parts out west in Alabama, it was more at 4 o'clock hour. And this is the deadliest day since May 20th, 2013, with the Moore, Oklahoma tornado outbreak. 23 casualties as of now, so we'll see how that fares out.
Yeah, and you can see all the reports from that severe weather outbreak yesterday with the red dots indicating tornadoes, blue dots are wind reports, and green dots are hail reports.
Yeah, that was for yesterday. That's no longer in effect, obviously, as those storms have moved out. We had 97 tornado warnings issued yesterday and 87 severe thunderstorm warnings issued by the National Weather Service in this outbreak event.
Yeah, and just to clarify, just because there were 97 tornado warnings doesn't mean there were 97 tornadoes. That just means that some of them were radar indicated, and some of them actually were observed on the ground.
Yeah, they're just to give people cautionary factors to see if they should seek shelter, if they're in an area that could be affected by a tornado. It's, again, for the safety of the people.
Yeah, and for our area, the biggest tornado, you can see that tornado warning just north and east of Tallahassee was an EF2 tornado. That was confirmed this afternoon.
It's at least an EF2 tornado said by the National Weather Service. Thank you for them for this graphic as well, with all the warnings that they had in their area. So it could possibly be higher. And this is the first EF2 tornado we've seen in Leon County since 1972. And if this does become an EF3, it's the first since 1945, and that was the first ever.
Yeah, and honestly, the most impactful tornado from last night for our area was in Cairo, Georgia. It was at least an EF3 tornado based on what I saw this afternoon.
Yeah, and here's some footage from last night of the people doing the show. We really thank them for trying to make the best effort. But right now, we're going to send it out to the wall with Sloan.
Thanks, guys. Looking today at behind us, which is different than yesterday, as Dylan and Michael were just talking about. Currently it is 51 degrees, a bit cooler than what we've been seeing these past few days, and we've had a lot of clouds coming through the past few hours, and especially this morning we had a bit of a cloudy start, but there wasn't any rain today. Dew points, speaking of that lack of rain right now, are very dry. There's not a lot of moisture in our region right now, which is favorable to us since we've had a beautiful, cool day. But looking at the winds, we have the surface winds driving south, which explains why we are not having any moisture coming onshore as we normally have that Gulf moisture come through. But a very nice day, which is also bringing another line of storms into our forecast within the next 24 hours. Looking at tonight, or looking at right now, some clouds lingering, popping up a bit down there at the coast, but north of I-10 is where a lot of the clouds are right now, as there are some showers occurring in other parts of the southeast, such as Louisiana and Mississippi. But looking at tonight, we do see these showers coming to the western part of our Big Bend area, and then some clouds start to come through in Tallahassee at about 1 a.m., but the winds are still coming from the north, driving this throughout much of the region. And then into tomorrow morning, we still have that rain lingering in Big Bend, but expected to go away by about 6 a.m. there. You see it's clearing up a bit towards the western northwestern part of us, and then opening us up for another beautiful day ahead. As you see here, not a cloud in sight. Beautiful day, maybe some clouds popping up, and even Wednesday we have another clear, beautiful day ahead of us with no rain in the forecast overnight there. Tomorrow morning, rain is in sight, as we've mentioned. The rain showers will occur between 1 and 6 a.m. tonight, so if you are an early riser and have to be going to work, just take those extra precautionaries driving, as the roads will be wet, and make sure to have that umbrella or rain jacket on you. But we might even get into the 30s tomorrow morning, causing us to be very cool compared to where our lows were last week. Waking up tomorrow, 44 degrees. The clouds are still lingering, but they start to dissipate by noon, warming up to about 51, and then 4 p.m. 58, and then by 8 p.m. tomorrow night, 47 degrees, clear skies. Tomorrow's forecast for Big Bend, we still have those clouds coming through, but 50s is the theme here, with Perry being a bit warmer at 60 degrees. Looking ahead, again, that rain chance tomorrow, 20% overnight, but a chilly start as we might get below freezing. But the rest of the week until the weekend, we do have clear skies ahead as our temperatures increase back up nearing 80 degrees. But Michael's going to take a look at the southeast now.
Yeah, thanks, Sloan. And thankfully, it is a much better day across the southeast compared to yesterday, but it is much colder behind that cold front, especially in the interior locations of the southeast. You can see 51 here in Tallahassee, 44 in Montgomery, so much colder compared to this time yesterday, with 30s up towards northern Louisiana, central and northern Mississippi, and then into Arkansas, 34 in Little Rock, with 35 in Jackson and 35 in Shreveport. Now that surface winds, that's what's bringing in the colder air. You can see how this is basically funneling all that colder air up from the north. And you can also notice the frontal boundary, which brought us the severe weather yesterday, is now down towards South Florida, and it's basically dissipating at this point. Not much shower activity associated with it. Notice how these winds are fairly strong in the teens, 15 in Jackson, 13 in Montgomery, and 11 in Tallahassee, and it's making it a little bit colder than it actually feels outside. When I was walking back from my afternoon class, even though it's 53 degrees outside, it feels a little bit colder, 51 as your wind chill in Tallahassee. Notice how the wind chills up towards Little Rock, Shreveport, and Jackson are in the 20s. So a 5-degree difference, really, 5 to 10 degree difference compared to your air temperature. It feels much colder than it actually is outside. And of course, with that front moving through, pretty strong front, temperatures much colder compared to this time yesterday. Yesterday, we were well into the 70s, and now we're only barely into the 50s and in the 40s. So big drop compared to this time yesterday. The one exception is Central and Southern Florida, because that frontal passage just hasn't made its way through yet. But that will change as we go into tomorrow and especially into Wednesday. Another thing you can notice with this front is the dew point change. Dew point's much lower compared to this time yesterday. It had a lot of moisture to work with all those storms. Now with that frontal passage, air is much drier, and so it feels more crisp outside in terms of the air. And those are our dew points, really very dry air with 20s in Montgomery and Jackson. Dew point of 5 in Little Rock. That is a very Arctic dew point for some of the places down south here. Now, satellite and radar shows you we do have a little bit of a disturbance out towards central and central Louisiana and southern Mississippi, and this will quickly make its way across the interior locations of the southeast as we go into tonight, and that's what our future cast will show in just a bit. We do have some freeze watches and warning for you, given how cold we're expecting the next few nights to be, and given how we've just had a little bit of these blooms due to how warm February was for a lot of the southeast. So if you want to protect your plants, get them indoors, especially going into the overnight hours. Your forecast model does show you how we get a little bit of snow developing in central Georgia. Not accumulation should be expected given how warm the ground is, but it quickly makes its way out, clearing skies out, and it's going to be very cold going into the next few days across the southeast. So finally for tonight, we'll see basically cold conditions with some snow up towards central Georgia, and then tomorrow you notice how temperatures are very cold across the interior locations of the southeast. Now I'll send it back to the desk with Salone and Dylan.
Thanks very much, Michael. And we got our last basketball game, home men's basketball game of the season coming up tomorrow. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, a little on the chilly side conditions, but the last game, go out and support the Knowles.
Especially it's indoors too, so you'll
Right.
be warm and comfortable. But then on Wednesday, we have baseball against North Florida at 6 p.m.
Yes.
It's always a beautiful day to go see baseball, especially because we're going to have clear conditions Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous in terms of sky cover. The only thing you might want is a jacket. 49 degrees at game time at 6 p.m. But might want to have a jacket because it's going to get colder as the night goes on.
Or a blanket even, because
Yeah.
the bleachers are a bit cold as well. And then women's basketball coming up on Thursday as well.
Yeah, great. They're playing against the winner of Duke and Pitt. But right now, we're going to send it back over to the wall with Ariana to take a local look again.
Sounds like we got some great sporting events coming up this week. Good thing the temperatures will still be rising and it's going to be sunny. If you get an outside game, it's going to be a great week for that. Right now, though, it's a little bit chilly. The actual temperature outside is 65, and that low hit 49, where the average is around 71 this time of year, which is a little warmer, hitting 70s with that Florida warm sunshine weather. Currently, though, it is 51 outside, partly cloudy. That sun is about to start setting. You can see in the background that beautiful sunset. You may catch one of those tonight if you go outside and watch it. Take a picture for me. I love those sunset pictures. It is a little windy. Those winds are coming in from the north, making that breeze very chilly. Currently around Tallahassee, like Sloan said, that pattern is mid to low 50s, high 50s in some places. Like Perry, you got 58, but up above us in Thomasville, you have all the way down at 46. So it is a little chilly. I recommend layering up. It is going to get even more chilly as that sun goes down. For the past 24 hours, though, you can see in Tallahassee, 24 hours ago, that temperature was 25 degrees above what it is right now. So that cold front that came in last night really brought that cold Arctic air our way, making it feel like winter in March in Florida, which is not my cup of tea. But with those cool temperatures, also brought those low dew points. So if you woke up this morning, your hair probably wasn't as frizzy as it was yesterday. I know mine looks beautiful today. Didn't do anything to it. But right now in Tallahassee, the dew point is 38. That is very low. Pretty average for your winter time in Tallahassee. The satellite and radar, like we showed earlier, you can see this disturbance over here in Louisiana and southern Mississippi. That will be coming towards us later tonight around 1:15 tonight. So like I said, don't take that 1 a.m. walk without your umbrella because you may get rained on tonight. But for Tallahassee today, there were no really clouds in the sky, much different than the past few days. No rain, it was a pretty clear day, pretty beautiful, just a little bit chilly because you could see those winds were coming in from the north like they are, and this is that forecast for tonight, what you can expect when that rain comes our way later tonight. Hopefully you'll be sleeping though. I know I will because I am tired. But if you're looking ahead at the week, you can see those low temperatures are going to continue to stay low, even though those temperatures are going to rise throughout the week. But by Friday, it's going to be 73 degrees. It's going to be beautiful. I recommend going to the park, taking your dog on a walk. It is going to be a great Friday. And looking at the weekend ahead, 79 degrees with a low in the 60s. That sounds like a beautiful Florida day to me. What do you think about that, Sloan?
I think it's going to be a beautiful week ahead of us once that rain begins to move out. But taking a look at the nation, we do see that there's not a lot of precipitation unless we look in the northern portion of the Midwest where there's some rain and snow falling, as those temperatures are well below freezing at about 7 degrees in Minneapolis and 12 degrees in Bismarck. But taking a look out west, we do see some clouds coming to the picture in San Francisco and LA as another system begins to move onshore there. But we do see that divide in the southeast, taking a look at Florida, where we have these warmer temperatures and then cooler, about 48 degrees in New Orleans and 51 in Tallahassee. At the dew point, we're fairly dry as a nation, as these temperature dew points are sticking to the teens, the tens, and even the negatives up there towards the Great Lakes. But we do see the moisture here in Florida, south of Tallahassee, which is typical for Miami, about 62. The surface winds, we have a few low pressure systems, but we do have a high pressure system sitting in the Midwest, which is causing them to be a bit drier. And then another low pressure system that's been moving across parts of the West, but there's another one following it as San Francisco and LA begin to get storms into their forecast. And then a low pressure system up there in Boston, which is what brought them snow over the past few days, especially Friday. I know they got a few inches of snow. The upper level water vapor, we have this dry air following this front or a storm system rather, that moved through, and down in Tallahassee we do see where those clouds will make our way, but the west we see the moisture come on shore into San Francisco and Las Vegas. Again, the clouds are the big theme here as a nation, other than this small disturbance behind me down here in Louisiana, Mississippi. But watches and warnings, there are a lot right now. If we take a look at the West Coast, San Francisco has a winter storm warning and watch, and that's because that storm is moving onshore and their temperatures are a bit colder there. And in the north central United States, another winter weather advisory. As we saw, there was snow in the forecast for them if you've been keeping up, and their temperatures are well below freezing. As we go into the south, we have another freeze warning and watch. Since that cold front did move through yesterday, as we all saw, lows are getting into the 30s and below. I believe our low tomorrow in the morning is expected to be 31, but into the evening, we do have the clouds coming through. Not a lot other than that, than a few showers between those early morning hours, especially for Tallahassee. But looking out west, we do see where we're going to have some mixed precipitation as it goes up the mountains, and a lot of rain for California. Tomorrow, though, clear skies except along the west coast where we do see some rain in the forecast for San Francisco, but favorable temperatures throughout, and another beautiful day in Tallahassee. But for now, I'm going to pass things off to Dylan.
Thank you very much, Sloan. And as we take a look at what's going to happen here in Tallahassee, we're going to start off talking about radiation fog. We're at the end of the cold blast season, and we're going to see some frost. So we're going to explain radiation fog and then tie it back into frost. So for radiation fog, you need two ingredients. You first need clear skies and calm winds, and that's what we're going to see the next couple of days. You see these clear skies and the trees not moving, so you don't got strong winds. And when you get into those nighttime hours, the arrows indicating radiational cooling, the energy coming up, you have that cool enough to where the air condenses. Now you need a lot of moisture for that, so we're really not going to see that here in Tallahassee. What we are going to see though is frost. You're going to need those same kind of conditions. You're going to need temperatures near or below freezing, some clear skies as well, and some calm winds. And then tomorrow, you look at Wednesday's forecast, well, we have all three of those things. Temp near 31, some good clear sky conditions, and a small wind. And then you might end up with stuff like this. These are from my car. You can see the frost on your car in the morning, other than it's sweating that you usually see when it's a lot of moisture. But right now, we're going to send it back to the desk where Sloan and Ariana are going to talk about that amazing winter rainfall or snowfall.
Thanks, Dylan. Ariana and I are both from the north, and we do have our experience with snow. Yes. As that severe storm line approached us this weekend, winter storm approached much of the Northeast.
Yes, it actually, they got a lot of snow up there in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. They got a total around 10 to 15 inches in some area, and at one point it was even snowing 3 inches an hour, which is a lot, and this caused a lot of problems actually up north. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of traffic delays. I know some colleges had their delayed openings because of this, and other schools in Massachusetts are definitely closed. With that much snow, it would be unsafe to go out there and bring your kids to school. But what made this a lot of snowfall rather, is that the temperature at the surface was very cold as well. But we can see your family out there building a snowman.
It even made it to Kentucky, that snow. It wasn't just in the Northeast, it made it all the way to Kentucky. They had a surprise snow, and They built Jimmy the Snowman. Got a shout out. There you go, Craig.
It was a widespread snowstorm for much of the Northeast. I know at home in New Jersey, we experienced some snow as well, and we've been getting a lot of snow lately too. But winter weather is on the way this week as well, so make sure you keep your eye on the forecast. But for now, we're going to pass things off to Dylan to take a look at Florida.
Well, we have no snow here in Florida, unfortunately. We're not building Jimmy the Snowman here in Florida. The closest place to that, though, is Pensacola at 45 degrees. They're not that cold. I mean, 45 is still above freezing. But down for the rest of the part of Florida, look at these warm temperatures. That's summer. That's late spring. This isn't the winter still. We're in March now, but we're not in winter yet. And as we look at that dew point change, or that temperature change, sorry, you see the northern part of Florida really felt the brunt of that cold front. The cold front, though, has stalled out more in central Florida, and that's why you only see an 8 to 4 degree temperature change from yesterday. And then down in the south, they're not seeing any bit of a temperature change, only a little bit of an increase with some warmer, moist conditions coming into there. And our dew points, very dry into the northern part, a surge of moisture down towards the southern central part of the state, and then a lot of moisture still sitting around most of Florida. Going into our winds, you can kind of see where this petering out front is. You see it's kind of falling apart, these convergence of the winds. Down in North Florida, though, we have a little bit of a gustier conditions. As Michael pointed out, we start to have these wind chill values when it's very cold outside, and you get some strong winds. Bringing in some drier air, though, we'll see a bit of moisture come back with this next little bit of disturbance into North Florida. Down in South Florida, radar's pretty clear, not too bad of condition. Only a shower or two moved through Fort Myers in the last hour, but nothing too bad. And as we look at tomorrow's forecast, well, warm conditions again, and a spotty shower or two because it is South Florida and we're always going to see the rain chances. It's kind of like England where it rains every day, but instead of England, it's only raining the entire day in South Florida, or part of the day, sorry. 80 degrees across the board for the eastern part of the state. Moving up a little bit, though, into the Tampa-St. Pete area, seeing more mild conditions as that front takes hold. You see mid-60s, mid to low 60s through the northern part, and then a little warmer conditions in Venice and Northport at 69 and 69 degrees as well. And then some clouds are sticking around for their area. Moving up into the northeast part of the state, well, you got colder conditions as well, again, as that cold air really settles in. Cross City seeing 61 and a slight shower as that disturbance makes its way through their area after it makes its way through our area. And finally going over to the western part of the state, well, they're seeing more cold conditions, the coldest anywhere in the entire state, 55 degrees as their high in Mariana. Out in Crestview, 55 degrees as well. And as we look at what the Futurecast has in store for us, well, we see that disturbance move through, bring some rain chances, and then start to clear out, and then moving down into South Florida where they're increasing their rain chances as well. And you have a bit of spotty showers and warmer, moist conditions for them as you get more of the Gulf influence to bring in just a tad bit of moisture. Right now, I'm going to send it over to Michael to take a local look.
Yeah, thanks, Dylan. We're going to take a look at what it looks right now outside here at Doak Campbell Stadium. It's actually a pretty nice sunset after what we experienced yesterday. 51 degrees with some partly cloudy skies, just some high cirrus clouds you see. And that north wind of 13 miles per hour making it feel a little bit colder than it actually is outside. As I said, I was out walking back from my class, and it didn't feel like the 50s. It felt like it felt like it was in the 40s. But the current conditions you see right across the Big Bend, 51 here in Tallahassee. Just make the short drive up to Quincy, 46 degrees. So it's a pretty drastic drop up, just going about 5-10 miles up towards the north. 46 also in Thomasville and in Bainbridge. Our warm spots are at Apalachicola and Perry at 55 and 56 degrees respectively. Now with that front moving through, the drier air has made its way down towards North Florida and South Georgia. You see dew points well into the 30s, 38 in Tallahassee, 36 in Quincy. Only 40 dew points are in Apalachicola and Perry, but those dew points will drop as we go into tomorrow and especially into Wednesday as more dry air makes its way down towards us. The dew points are also lower compared to this time yesterday. Very humid and sticky outside yesterday. The moment that cold front went through overnight, dew points dropped pretty much instantly with dew points, again, in the 30s and 40s compared to this time yesterday. Satellite and radar is clear for now. The clouds are going to increase as we go into the overnight hours as we have a little bit of this disturbance right now in Louisiana and Mississippi. Just a few showers. Luckily, it's going to be while you're sleeping, so it's not going to be that impactful. And once we wake up at around sunrise, the clouds will be departing, and by the time we go into late morning, sun will be out, But with this northerly wind, it is going to be cold. Temperatures in the 50s, and compared to the last few weeks, a little bit of a shock to the system in terms of how it's going to feel. So be prepared to wear many layers as we go throughout the next few days. So again, for tonight, 41 degrees with that shower activity expected between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. But it's going to clear out very quickly as we go into the morning hours. So again, for this evening, partly cloudy skies with temperatures gradually cooling down into the middle to low 40s with 47 degrees at 2 a.m. Tomorrow, you'll have some clouds in the morning, but they'll gradually decrease as we go into the afternoon. And to sunny skies, 58 degrees, again, very cool for this time of year, 10 degrees below this time of year. The 7-day forecast shows you the next few days being chilly, not what I favor for March. But then as we go into the weekend, more what I expect for March. Temperatures back into the 70s, feeling late spring-like and summer-like, which I definitely love here in Florida. Now we're going to send it back to the desk to close out the show with Dylan and Ariane.
Thank you very much, Michael. And we have a constant debate in our apartment between Michael and I. Who loves the most wrong temperature for the time of year? I like the cold temperature. Michael likes the warm temperature. I don't know. We fight about it.
That's a very interesting fight, Dylan. I'm glad that is the main priority of your roommate fight.
You're clearly intrigued by my story of what we debate back at our apartment. But again, great conditions, I think, personally, coming up. I mean, look, there's no high rain chances on that forecast.
You know I'll be at the pool Saturday and Sunday, soaking up those UV rays with lots of sunscreen.
Yeah.
Make sure you wear sunscreen. Very important.
Honestly, not a bad day to go out to the beach again, as the folks did about 2 weekends ago.
Great beach day. Go. What's your favorite beach to go to?
I don't like going to the beach. So that was a bad question to ask me about. I don't know. I get sunburnt too easily. Even if I put on sunscreen every 20 minutes, I'm still burning.
Well, you need that SPF 100, Dylan.
I honestly need the SPF 3000 because I'm so pale that I get burnt so easily.
Well, we all know Dylan will be inside on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Or if he's outside, you will catch him wearing a hat.
No, I'll be studying, as you will probably be this weekend. We have an exam next week because, you know, school never ends.
Yes.
But only one more week after this week till spring break.
break.
Yeah, and we'll have your forecast for you coming up next week to talk more about spring break activities and spring-like activities to Michael.
Yes, exactly. I am excited for spring break, but you will catch me studying at the pool. But also, follow us on Twitter. Get those tweets from us.
Yeah, you can also like us on Facebook. We did some coverage yesterday on our Twitter and YouTube. If you want to watch that broadcast from yesterday, tune into that as well.
Yes, YouTube's very awesome. And also, which is awesome, Instagram. We want to see those sunset pictures, cool cloud pictures. We want to see it all. Send us your pictures to our Instagram, FSU Weather.
Yeah, we have some interesting pictures there if you want to check out what we've done in the past. A lot of the folks that you see on the show are on there as well.
Yes.
But
our Instagram is poppin'.
Yes, but from all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leith.
And I'm student meteorologist Ariana Goldstein. Have a good night.